On every episode of this podcast, How Star Wars Is It?, we begin with a cold open. You're listening to that now.
And what else is cold that opens? The fridge. That's right, today we're talking about something you can find in that cold open fridge. Maybe the day after a big meal. Leftovers.
Yeah!
Not the HBO show.
No.
Or whatever network it was on.
Yeah, that's right.
The food.
How Star Wars is it?
Well, hello there, Mike.
Well, hello there, Josiah.
It's funny whenever Mike and I do a batch recording, it's like we're
Yeah.
pretending like we are talking again for the
Right.
first time.
Which, of course,
but
when we begin recording, we say hi to each other. You know, when we
Yeah,
begin
we
the
do.
meeting, the Zoom meeting, we say hi to each other.
Right.
Then, yeah.
But today we did a classic where we don't say much. We just jump right into Patreon. So we just did a Patreon. We got all the energy out.
Yeah.
Now this is the main show. What is the main show?
Yeah, this is the show, you guys. It's called How Star Wars Is It?
Yeah, we yell it. And what do we do in this show? We rate everything. That's right, everything
Yes.
and anything on a scale of 1 to 10. Not of how good or bad it is, but of how Star Wars it is.
That's right.
So what does that mean exactly?
Imagine the Star Wars movies. You got like
Okay,
all
I can
11
do
of
it.
them on DVD or Blu-ray, or maybe you have them on Disney Plus. There's also all those TV shows. There's the Clone Wars. There's the Mandalorian. All that. All those things combined also with the comics, the books, the board games, the keychains, whatever.
The toys. Don't
All
forget
of
the
it.
toys.
You boil all of that down into a pot. You make a big
Yeah.
Star Wars chili, and that chili, you serve it up in a bowl for everybody, and they all take a bite, and they go, wow, that's a 10 out of 10 Star Wars, because it's everything.
right.
It's all the Star Wars.
It's all of it. And so that's what we're comparing things to. It's all about the quantity of Star Wars, not the quality of the thing.
That's right.
And this week
and in
we're
fact,
talking
you
about,
might even make a big pot of Star Wars chili and then have a bunch of it left over.
yeah, maybe no one wants to eat it because it tastes like melted plastic.
So
and like
here we are with the
are.
leftovers.
here we are with the leftovers. Somehow we haven't done an episode on leftovers. Mike,
We think.
we think. We're pretty sure.
Yeah.
We've gone through the episode list, but it's possible both our eyes skipped over it somehow.
Yeah.
What if we have done an episode on leftovers and we are going to find out when we post this from our small but mighty contingent of weekly listeners that we absolutely have done an episode.
They do a
That would-
different topic every week. One episode they did 100 different topics, and I guess one week they just did a topic they've already done. We could call the episode something like Leftovers 2, and then the actual title could be like what we end up actually talking about, like fucking Mario or something.
Yeah, who knows what it's going to be today. Well, we were like, what's something seasonal? What's something topical? What's something where we don't have to watch something?
Right, like
we
how
were
last week was pie.
And then we were like, well, we did pie for like holidays, Thanksgiving stuff. So why not leftovers, baby? And
Yeah.
leftovers are, hey, and can I say, like, they related to Thanksgiving and Christmas and other holiday meals, but leftovers are evergreen.
Yes, not
You know?
all leftovers are Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving always has rectangles.
How it always has Star Wars as circles. This is the thing I know we've talked about before.
Yes, what's that?
Because we have talked about on this show whether or not we are leftovers people.
I'm
Like,
sure
I
we
don't know
probably have.
in what
yeah.
episode we have talked about that, but I have a very specific, actually, it's not specific. I have a vague recollection of us talking about whether or not we like leftovers or not. Which I love leftovers,
Well, and if
baby.
we
I'll eat
had
'em.
that conversation, it was more than likely tied to discussing Thanksgiving at large. So, like, maybe we back up and define leftovers because, like you
Sure.
said, it could be you ordered takeout and there's some left over, or it could be you cooked a big pot of chili and there's some left over. So maybe we address leftovers. Are you a leftovers person in general?
Yeah. Well, so the leftovers are a multimedia franchise that started with a series of 16 best-selling religious novels that dealt with the Christian end times and the rapture, pre-tribulation, premillennial Christian eschatological interpretation of the biblical apocalypse,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
That was a really wordy, hey, Wikipedia, maybe work on that one.
Yeah, trim.
Because that had
edit.
too many big words in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a Left Behind joke, everyone.
Yeah.
So I hope that treated you well.
But I'm trying to think. Like, I literally ate leftovers tonight as my dinner. We made chicken last night. Caitlin made chicken. I'll give her the credit.
Hey, shout out to Caitlin.
Yeah. And I put Hot Ones barbacoa sauce on it and reheated it and had a little bowl of chicken before we started recording because I got home at like 5 after 6 and we started recording at 6:30.
Damn, Mike went hard today and he didn't even have to. I would have been okay with it if he decided to wait a little longer.
Caitlin's
I didn't
out
make him
tonight, so I knew we weren't gonna like sit down and have dinner. So I was like, I'll just blast through.
Just like really chow down.
Yeah.
I have a thing that I have realized recently, which is that I have been keeping food too long, leftovers too long. Have you ever had a tummy ache and thought to yourself, when did I make that pasta?
No.
Well, you're not a pig like me, a little stinky piggy who mucks around in the slop.
It's very rare that anything lasts more than a day here before one of us eats it.
Sure.
And that's why.
That's why. Well, here's my issue, and this is something that you might not be able to identify with. I don't know. I don't know your mom or your dad or whoever did the cooking in your house, but. I don't know your mom. I wish I would. I could.
I wish
she
I
seems
would.
Lovely. I wish I would know your mom, but I just can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I was like Colleen and that I knew your mom. All right? There, I said it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colleen. Also, Colleen, tell me if you're in grad school or not, because I met someone else who's studying to be a speech language pathologist, and I couldn't remember if you were currently in grad school or not. Finished. And this is...
I think... Well...
I could have just texted you or messaged you, but I want you to hear this and then message me.
And be like, yes, we've talked about this.
Also, Angela, how's it going? Let's talk to everyone who we know individually. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I come from a large family, and so all my parents' recipes that got passed down are made for like 6 people.
Yeah.
And so when I make food, it is to this day, I still make no matter what I'm making, I make like a lot. And then I always end up throwing some of it away because, well, nowadays I do, because I realize that meat shouldn't be in the fridge for longer than like 3 days.
Yeah, especially if your fridge is unreliable.
Yeah, especially if it breaks when you're on vacation and then
black
everything spoils.
Goo comes out of it.
Yeah, it becomes the creature from the Black Lagoon. And then your landlord won't do anything about it because they suck shit.
But I see what you're saying. Like, you are using recipes that are too large for one growing boy.
Yeah, and even when I'm just making stuff up, like tonight I made some food, which will be leftovers tomorrow, where it's this new thing I do because it's a really low effort meal. I just take a bunch of spaghetti, throw it in a pot. And it's too much spaghetti for one boy, and I'll probably end up throwing some of it away. And then I can't eat tomato sauce, so I just like cook up some Italian sausage, and I throw it onto I make butter noodles, you know, throw the sausage on there, and then I get a steamed pack of veggies and throw that on top. Yeah. And it's great, easy. It tastes fine. It's not going to win any awards, but it does. There have been, I think, 2 times recently where it sat in the fridge a little too long, and then I ate it one of those days, and I was like,
yeah.
My tummy hurts.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little stinky pig.
But then also, though, you have a bad tummy.
I do have a bad tummy,
and
so who knows what it could be.
Really weird.
I
do, too. Yeah, I have a bad one, too.
Hey, shout out. This is the Bad Tummy Club. Yeah. Welcome to our new
the BTC
podcast. The BTC.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say at the end of that Patreon. I'll write it down because I don't even want to spoil. You guys, we just recorded, no shit, the best Patreon episode we've ever done. Because Josiah had an insane story that he told me.
I had an insane experience that you honestly should go subscribe just to listen to if you're not already subscribed. And we did also a classic segment where Mike talks about a stupid commercial. Yeah, so I think both segments are really good.
Yeah, you guys, even just that one, we could send someone individually on an email the MP3 for $5, or you could send us $5 in Patreon and you get all of them.
Right, and we will do that first thing. Yeah, if you want to just Zelle us $5, I will email you the MP3. Hey, if anybody wants the MP3 to any of these, just let me know. I got them. They're all just sitting on my computer.
Yeah.
I know that you can download it, but like that's not as much fun as like, you know, you can save it to your iTunes or whatever.
Plug in all the metadata.
Yeah, artist Josiah and Mike.
Album name 42069.
Composer, huh?
Yeah.
It's not really a composer, this one.
But so you though do tend to make larger meals and thus tend to have leftovers.
I think yes. I always have leftovers because it's just, even though I'm not always using my parents' recipes, I'm always cooking with that mindset of like, well, gotta feed a lot of people, even though it's just me. And so then I just end up eating 3 evenings of the same meal and then throwing away whatever's left because sometimes there is some, sometimes there's not.
Yeah. We used to get, we get Jimmy's Pizza all the time here. Honestly, best pizza in Chicago.
Okay. Have we recorded an episode about leftovers before? Because I swear to God, you've brought up Jimmy's Pizza.
Well, we've recorded an episode about pizza before.
Okay.
And so I'm sure I brought it up then.
Okay, continue.
Episode title: Leftovers 2? Description: Mike and Josiah wonder for 60 minutes if they've already recorded this episode.
Oh goodness.
But we used to get like a full pizza, and with the intent of like having 2 pieces each that night, and then be able to bring the other 2 to work or whatever. But then we'd always end up eating the whole damn thing. So now we just buy slices because they sell slices.
There you go.
But then, of course, we don't have leftovers.
That's what I need to do. I need to change my mindset to a slice mindset instead of a whole pizza pie mindset.
Yeah.
I'm just going through all our episode list and control effing leftovers just to make sure, because I am really so certain that you have told that exact story in relation to leftovers, and that I have said the exact same thing.
Well, wait. When I told it, do you remember how to spell Berenstain?
Yeah, it was...
like, when we were talking about pizza, did I ever spell Berenstain?
Yeah, you were like Mandela, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, that doesn't even sound right. And I kept saying it Mandela instead of Mandela.
Right.
Okay.
We're in the clear,
so far,
we're good?
Yeah, we're in the clear. There's no leftovers episodes.
If there were, we could like basically press pause in like 9 minutes and call this a Patreon.
That's true. I think if we had done an episode, we would have just had to finish this one, and done it anyway and posted it and just like lived with the shame.
Right. Caitlin usually cooks. And we tend to have leftovers. Like, she'll make a full pack of ground turkey into turkey burgers, which ends up being like 4 burgers. Or, a bunch of shredded chicken ends up lasting 2 nights or whatever. But I don't know. Usually when we order delivery, we eat it all right then and there. Are you a delivery person?
No, because I'm too poor, unfortunately.
I never was from the same mindset of just like conserving,
Yeah. I will say Charlie and I together are delivery people.
Yeah. That's what changed in my equation. Yeah. And the other thing that changed is no one could leave their house for like a year and a half.
That's true. Everyone became a delivery person.
Yeah.
Sometimes
some people
literally
became DiGiorno person, but most people became a delivery person.
Someone I was talking to recently misunderstood it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno, like the idea of it. Because the idea is that the pizza is so good.
Yeah, you'd think it's delivery made by a teenager in an actual oven.
Right. You don't think that it was a frozen pizza, but they like understood it the opposite way of like, oh, it's not delivery, as if delivery was bad. And like, it's DiGiorno.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense too, but that's wrong.
Yeah, I was like, the way that it's phrased could definitely be that,
right?
But that also like delivery pizza is supposed to be better than frozen pizza. So like, I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but it was a very entertaining misunderstanding.
That's very like, oh, I've only ever read it in print, and to that person, I would say, well, hey, it was in the text, and the authorial intent might not have been the read you took, and your read was valid given the text. Like how fucking Taylor Swift, you have to know about her life in order to understand her music.
The artist is dead, and you can think whatever you want about the DiGiorno tagline, and it's okay.
Except if if the
They're
artist
shitty?
is a problem,
Yes, you're right. The Artist is Dead is actually the last wave of how we thought about it, because now it's
yeah,
the artist
has a Twitter.
the artist
regardless.
is the artist is a ghost. They're dead, but they're looming over your shoulder,
Right.
and they're spooky.
Right.
I'm glad Mike brought up Taylor Swift, because I could talk about her forever. Because I had this, so I've started playing the song "Shake It Off" to my pre-Kers, because it's a good song to play because they can shake everything, you know.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
like, shake your hands.
pentatonic. It's like schoolyard chant. Yeah.
Yeah, I take out the annoying part in the middle when she like raps for a second or something, because why would I do that to my poor children? But
You're
today,
talking about that sick beat.
yeah, that sick beat. I don't do that part. But the Monday when I came into class, there's this one girl. She's very cute, and she's a Swiftie. Like, she's 3 years old, and she loves Taylor Swift. And so she asked, "Can we do a Taylor Swift song?" And I'd already been playing "Shake It Off" for the toddlers because their teachers liked Taylor Swift, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll learn a T Swift song." So I was like, "Yeah, we can play "Shake It Off." And so then, like, right as I sit down, she goes, "Can we sing more Taylor?" And her teachers, who we have all established that together as a group, that they like Taylor Swift and that I like Folklore and Evermore because of my girlfriend, they were like, "Yeah, are you gonna do the?" And I was like, "The 10-minute All Too Well." Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today for our pre-Kers.
Yeah.
And we had a nice little. And they were like, "Yeah, have you been learning a lot?" And I was like, "I haven't watched or listened to it, but I know a lot more about Jake Gyllenhaal than I did, thanks to my girlfriend."
It's just like so annoying to me.
I don't like Taylor Swift's old music for that reason, because it doesn't feel like pop music where you have to know. You don't have to, but it feels like you're missing out if you don't know who she's talking about. And I feel like her fans like the fact that they know who she's talking about, or they like to try to figure it out.
Other than, of course, the whole production rights and all that, but like the reason there's a 10-minute version of a song that should be 2 minutes is that there's Twitter, basically.
Right, because it was as Charlie was telling us the other day, she said for years that there's a 10-minute version of that song, and Twitter basically released the Snyder Cutted, but for that song.
And we need to just have, I mean, like, I know we want more like original IP, but like, let's even just have a movie that it goes to a movie theater and you go watch the movie.
And that's it.
I know they need to market it to like get us to come, but like market it with a commercial and not with like some Vulture article that's like, this person like got injured while, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe even just give it a good
dumb
poster.
And wrong, whatever.
No. You're not dumb or wrong. Like, give it a good poster, and then like I walk into the Cineflix,
right,
and I see the poster, and I'm like, that looks rad as hell, and I go to see. No, there is a. So, this is an interesting conversation, because I saw the same guy sent you that talked about the Dune thing, where it was like people didn't like Dune because it wasn't quote unquote fun, and it's because, and he, you know, made the joke of like, no one said like, well, that just happened. Had a similar video about how there is this feeling that, you know, the whole release the Snyder Cut happened, and people were like, this is setting a dangerous precedent, and people were like, oh, we want to. Some people are like, oh, release the whoever directed the first Suicide Squad. There's literally not a cut of that movie that they're talking about, but they're like, release this cut, and it's like doesn't exist. But they were saying that like the only reason we think it's a dangerous precedent is because it was a bad product. You know what I mean? Because like if it turned out to be good, then we would be like, oh, this was great that this artist got to do this thing. Like, another example they used was whenever the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer came out, and he looked terrible, and the whole internet was like, he looks terrible. And then like this major motion picture studio changed
just, like,
all the animation,
slammed on the brakes, and
it looked better. And like that movie, I liked that movie. It's not necessarily like a good movie. I liked it a lot because I like Sonic. I think it was better because of the fact that it looked better.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those things where it's a similar outcome, but because Zack Snyder's long version wasn't universally adored, we see it as being a dangerous precedent. I guess same with Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version. It's like, there's definitely there's diminishing returns on what all a song can be in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of any other like examples of like, would this be a good version if we got like the artist's original version or whatever?
There's a story about that I heard on Las Culturistas. Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles. She wanted to do the chorus straight every time, including at the end, and like the producers were like, "This is a pop song. It's 2000 whatever. You have to like sort of do some sort of riff different chorus at the end because that's the trend." And she was like, "No, I don't want to." They made her do a take, and that's what's in it. You know, the "If I could fall into the sky." Yeah. And they were like, "That's the better one." And then it became a gigantic song, and she's like, "Yeah, they were right."
Yeah, that's the other thing that I think this whole issue gets into is
Star
that
Wars.
like Star Wars.
Like, George Lucas got to make the movies he wanted. The prequels arguably aren't as good as the ones he made in conjunction with other artists, all having a voice at the table.
Because I think there's like two lines, right? There's three different sections of like how I'm looking at this. One, artist has complete control with zero editors on the outside, which gives you the prequels, which gives you the too long Harry Potter books, and which gives you like the Fantastic Beasts movies and all the shitty Harry Potter stuff that J.K. Rowling went on to like do. And then there's on the other end too much corporate influence, not necessarily like artists helping you,
right?
But like the big wigs of whatever.
I had this conversation today at work. We're doing a project, a design project for a company, like a big corporation, and like the end of a conversation was, well, this is the image that she really liked, so let's include that in the presentation and kind of gear everything towards that. And it's like, okay, well, if the client already has a design in mind, then they can design it.
Yeah. That I think that's the other end of this, is that like it's the
like this has been done before successfully, let's keep doing it.
Right, it's the bad parts of the MCU. It's the bad parts of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
It's the bad parts of any of their movies where the
everything looks the same. They all have the same exact sense of humor. Every fucking character somehow has the same joke quips. Yeah,
right. And it's like those aren't artistic choices. Those are corporate choices that someone else makes for you. And then there's the sweet spot in the middle, which I think arguably is like the original trilogy, like we're talking about. Because I would say that we could even take this to Star Wars in general. I think like sequel trilogy is probably too much corporate. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Prequel trilogy is too much. Prequel trilogy is too much one artist.
Yeah.
Original trilogy is like original trilogy is like almost the perfect mix of a bunch of peers working together on an artistic project. And of course, we're talking about
movies here, which like I suppose is somewhat similar to like music production, because that's also like high budget, like pop culture. But like, you know, Picasso didn't have necessarily like an editor and a producer, you know, like
sure
depending on the art, but yes,
well, you know, like, depending on the art, because even then like
art for consumption, you know, like mass production Hollywood.
Even with like, I don't know, those older style of artists, like a lot of people had patrons.
Well, that's true.
Right, and or we're working on a commission for something.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
And I think it is like all that to say too, for like even visual art, like paintings or whatever, like there's a reason not all of Picasso's paintings are in museums.
Well, you know what I mean? There's a reason that Picasso is the name we know, because or Warhol or Van Gogh, like, okay, they did something fully different and had like a new artistic vision.
Well, yes, and then I think then also
Hollywood, the Hollywood of the art world at the time was like, oh, okay, let's have a bunch of people do those wacky faces that aren't right.
Yes, they become the style until it is now their style is no longer in vogue because they became like, it's like why Warhol is like not like as popular, because it became pop art became tired. Like it was like, we don't care about soup cans anymore.
Reappropriated in a different kind of direction or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I think there's I think honestly, this is a good episode of this show.
Yeah, we're talking about
relate
leftovers this week. Man, we should do like art history month. I would love to get into like there's great YouTube channels about like art history that I just like totally nerd around.
I'm like a mini art nerd. Like I love going to museums in general, and I love me some partly this is probably because I was a theater nerd too, but like the play Red by that's about like Mark Rothko.
I'm aware of that play. I've never seen it, but
I love that play, and I from there I loved Rothko, and like one of my favorite places I've ever been in the world was the Rothko Chapel.
Oh,
in Houston.
Is that with all the black canvases?
Yes, it's
I am aware of that, and I hear it's like truly transcendent.
It really is. It's like floor to ceiling black canvases in like an octagon shape, and there's no talking inside. Like you're not allowed to make any noise. And
it's not just like a single black paint poured over a canvas. No. It's got like nuance to the black, which is like
it is
crazy.
Classic Rothko, which is like it looks like it's one color, but then like the more you look at it, you're like, there's a lot of colors in here, and like it looks black still. Like when you step back and look at it, you're like, oh yeah, it's black. But then like you look at it closer, and you're like, oh, there's a lot of black.
You go,
there's a
lot
of different blacks.
Enhance.
Yeah, enhance. But yeah, when I went there, it was like. It's the purpose of it is to be a like sort of meditative holy place for any religion. Like when you go in, there's holy texts from like all the major world religions. Oh, cool. And so it's basically just for prayer, meditation, whatever you want, no matter who you are, which I love that idea. And I'm like, and I think he commissioned, or I don't know if he didn't commission himself, but like he designed the building, I think too, in mind with the canvases. And it's like, I love a Rothko. That's all that to say. I can be a little bit of I would like to do art history month too because I'm also a nerd.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's get
just
really
an episode, or I don't know.
Let's get really like highbrow on this show once.
Yeah. I mean, the single most important artist in the history of contemporary art is Marcel Duchamp. I'm just thinking of like doing some real erudite art history shit on a podcast listened to by like 40 people called How Star Wars Is It?
Yeah, like we're going to do an episode that's art history, but we are going to talk entirely differently and we are going to like not do any jokes and it's going to be like a 99% invisible like smart show, but only for one episode about art history.
Yeah, we both have a monocle on, so it like changes our vocal performance.
Yeah, we're like, so in the early 70s, whenever the shift in I don't even know enough about it to like try to talk bullshit. Oh wow, should we go play a game?
Yeah, probably. What's the topic?
I don't know, leftovers?
Oh yeah, right.
But the thing is, somehow we got to like a salient Star Wars point of talking about how there's the three different like sort of areas your creativity can fall into with the original trilogy.
Too much input or like the right amount. Yeah, the Goldilocks.
It's the Goldilocks, baby. And I don't know how that
Goldilocks has 3 different clients she's working for.
Oh my god!
Or rather, I suppose the Bears do. But she has like 3 emails, and one of them has way too many notes, and way too many people are CC'd and need reply alls.
Stop! Because we have to make this book, and we can't let other people hear this because they'll steal it.
Yeah, you're right.
But like, save this because this is actually a good idea. Because it would be one of those funny like
Goldilocks stumbles into like 3 Bears Incorporated, and everyone's out for lunch.
Yes, this is a new thing that we're gonna do, and we're gonna make a lot of money. It's like whenever it's like the picture books that are like funny and they're definitely for adults.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like there's a funny idea.
To sleep.
Yes,
or
this is what it is.
Stephen Colbert's "I Am a Pole and So Can You."
We take the classic fairy tales
and we put them at like a 9 to 5.
We start lampooning corporate culture with these. Okay. We got Goldilocks in the 3 emails. All right. What else we got?
She wants a higher salary, but the boss is only willing to give her this, and they meet in the middle, and this salary is just right.
Just right. We've got, hey, you know what? The Little Red Hen writes itself. All right, Little Red Hen's trying to do a project. No one's trying to help.
The Little Red Hen?
You don't know Little Red Hen?
I don't think so.
The Little Red Hen's the one that's like like wants to bake bread and they're like, all right, I gotta mill the flour, and like they ask like the goat for help, and the goat's like, no, I'm busy. And so then the hen ends up doing all the work to make the bread itself.
Sure.
And then once the bread is made, everyone's like, can I have a slice? And the little red hen goes, no, none of you help.
It's like she's the giving tree, but she stood up for herself.
Yeah, she's the giving tree, but who's like, hey, actually, no.
Yeah.
You can't just have this thing because none of you helped me.
It's the giving tree with healthy boundaries.
Yeah. I saw this like TikTok about that recently, about the giving tree and the rainbow fish. Do you remember the rainbow fish that had to give away its sparkly like scales because everyone else was being too lame?
Right.
And was being mean to the rainbow fish, and so the rainbow fish had to be the one to give away their scales?
Yeah.
No. It was like basically someone being like, millennials had terrible messaging in our books.
Yeah.
Because the giving tree is a bad message in the end. It's like, give until you're dead.
I mean, it's sort of like a careful what you wish for cautionary tale, but yeah, like it is also very like
that's true.
Millennials had their parents read that to them as they were kids, and millennials expect everything of their parents until they end up killing their parents.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. I think there's a reading of the giving tree that is like the correct way to be like careful, because you could end up both tired and sad and without any of the things that you had.
Right.
And that's not the best for both of you.
And the friend who was like, don't ask too much of your friend, or they will end up leaving you. Yeah.
Or they'll die.
Yeah. You'll end up like cutting them apart, and they'll be a stump.
They'll be a little stump. Aren't we all just little stumps? Anyway, should we go to the game?
Yeah.
What's happening?
The break.
Leftovers.
Man, we don't do the premise of the show. Okay, let's jump into the Sarlacc pit. Whee! Oh, man. And we're back. Happy Turkey Day, everybody.
We're back. Open up the fridge. What do you see in there? It's us. We're a leftover episode.
Yeah. Josiah is getting a little moldy, though.
Oh, I've been moldy, baby. Do you like penicillin on your pizza?
I don't, because I'm allergic to penicillin.
Oh.
I think. I've been saying that for 30 years, because when I was like a toddler, I got a rash.
Hey, man, what if you aren't anymore? Let's try.
I need to get a doctor, because I had one, and I think maybe they're not real, and I don't know if they even take my insurance anymore. There was some kind of thing that I was like, oh, God, I need to get a different doctor then. And, of course, it's been like 2 years, because it's like, who could be bothered to find another doctor? And then 2, I need to go. And then 3, I need to be like, am I allergic to different stuff? Like, because I can't drink alcohol anymore.
Yeah, you should go to an allergist for sure.
I should. And a dermatologist, because that's another thing I haven't done in like a decade. And I've got weird skin things going on. But guys, definitely it's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it really is. Healthcare in America sucks really bad.
I found a dermatologist near me through a link that a friend of mine provided from work. So we have the same insurance network and provider and everything. And she's like, this is how I find stuff. Found this one. And I looked at their website of like what all insurance they take, and they had my company, but not exactly the wording of my card. It's like, Core plus HSA premium or whatever. And I'm like, is that what this is? And I emailed them going, is that what this is? And they're like, you'd have to check with your insurance, but like it's mostly, and it's like, but I can't check with my insurance, because when I call them, it's like a third party operating on their behalf. Like,
yeah, it's the worst.
So anyway, the healthcare system is fully broken.
It is.
And I should probably go to the doctor.
Get a primary care. Hey, everyone out there.
Yeah.
If you're not on your parents' insurance still, because I know we have some younger listeners, get a primary care doctor. Okay, I just had to tell my little brother this, because he's getting on his own insurance for the first time. And he was like, this is worth it. It's better. It's going to be cheaper than going to urgent care for everything.
Totally.
Okay? Like, I know that my little brother was like, well, actually, studies show that if you get a yearly physical, it's actually worse because you're not likely to go in for other things. I don't care. Okay? I'm not as worried about the yearly physical.
You're paying however much per paycheck into your insurance, and included is an annual physical. Like, if you don't go, you lose that money.
just get a primary, no matter who you are. Yeah. If you have insurance, get a primary care person. It sucks. to find them, but once you do, if you're in the same place for a while and they're decent, just stick with them.
I found a dentist when I got dental, and it's been gangbusters. I go twice a year. She's really nice. I like her. She even moved, and I keep going to her new place. And yet, I got a doctor rather near my office because I was at work more than I am now, obviously. And I had one prior. Maybe I didn't even have one in Chicago prior to that. And I had this doctor. I went once, and in fact, I went again maybe a month later for a different thing. And I was like, hey, cool, I have a doctor. So, like, I know who to go to. And then over a year went by, and I never had another appointment. And I was like, oh, they are not like my dentist who are like, how can we get you here again? You know?
Right.
And so I made an appointment like far later than another, like maybe another 6 months. So it's been like a year and a half at this point. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. How about this day? Blah, 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 whatever. I go for my appointment, and they're like, okay. And same insurance, same all that stuff. And I was like, yep. And then they said, oh, we don't take this insurance anymore. And I was like, oh, great. Oh, well then what would it be like out of pocket? And they were like, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, goodbye.
Yeah, that's too much.
And then it's like, well, shit, like you were my doctor.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It really sucks. Anyway.
I have the game this week.
Yay.
And it has a little theme song.
Ooh.
It starts with word. There's a G underneath. Guess the word game, and you're right. The word game starts a chain. Take a guess. Win some cash. It's guys against girls right now on Chain Reaction.
Yes, I didn't know the theme. I actually never heard that, but through context clues of the lyrics, I figured we were doing Chain Reaction.
Yeah.
Do I need a piece of paper?
Oh, yes, you do. I forgot to prep you on that. So while you're doing that, I will tee up what the game is. It is another instance of Chain Reaction, the game from Game Show Network. And this week is leftovers. So the theme is like Thanksgiving food. I have 4 different chains. There are 2 long and there are 2 short. So I guess to get us...
hey, I love this game, so they're all too short.
Haha.
You know what I mean?
So I guess my first question for you is, would you rather start with a short one or a long one?
I want to start with the long boy.
All right, cool. Okay, we'll start with the one that I then, after the game is over, have a story about.
Okay, good.
You are trying to connect pumpkin and pie. And in between those, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words.
Pumpkin and pie. There's 5 in between, you said?
Yes.
All right.
So would you like your first letter under pumpkin
or above pie? I'd like the first letter under pumpkin, please.
All right. That first letter under pumpkin is P. Listeners, you can play along at home.
Is it a pumpkin patch?
It is pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
Listeners, let us know if you got that first answer and any answers that you got. You can tweet at us.
It's pumpkin patch, patch kit, kit fisto. No, sorry. Okay. Fisto marbles. I got a fist of marbles over here.
Okay, so under patch or above pie?
Under patch, please.
All right. W is the first letter of the word under patch.
Is it patchwork?
It is patchwork. And if you're listening to us play this game for the first time and you're like, what are they doing? There are words in between these words. You're probably figuring it out by now, but I will give him 1 letter at a time until he can figure out what the word is. And then ultimately it will make a chain of sort of 2-word phrases.
Yes. Correct.
So you are at pumpkin patch work. There is a word above pie or a word under work.
I'll take a letter under work.
All right, that is S.
Is it work study?
It is not work study.
Damn.
All right, so control goes over to the girls. Oh, it's only Josiah playing.
It's only me. Can I get a letter under or after S?
Yes, so the next letter in that word is H.
Work share?
It is not work share.
Another letter, please.
The next letter is O.
Oh, work show. Work shove. Work shove.
Listeners, lock in your answers now. Is it work shove? It is not.
Okay, another letter, please.
Now, in the Game Show Network show, when it's the last letter, it's just like a spinning group of letters because...
Is it shot?
It is not shot.
Is it shoe?
It is not shoe.
What could it be?
Work.
It's not shoe, it's not shot. Work. There's only one letter left?
Yeah.
Shob.
Unvoiced.
Shod. Oh. Wait. Oh, wait. I don't know.
I might not have used that right from a phonetics standpoint. But
so
your mouth does the same shape, kind of.
Shop. Shop.
Yes.
Yeah, not but
yeah. Workshop.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so you're at
That shouldn't
pumpkin
have been as hard.
patchwork, workshop. There's two more words. One is under shop and one is above pie.
I'll take one over pie.
All right, that one starts with H.
Heavy pie.
It is not heavy pie.
Can I get another letter, please?
This is a PG-rated podcast.
Oh, sick.
The next letter in that one, is that what you said?
Yes, please.
All right, that one is O. You have H-O.
Oh. Holy, no. Home pie.
It is not home pie.
Dang. Another letter, please.
N.
Honey pie.
Yeah, it is honey pie.
I feel like that's a thing, I guess.
It is a
honey
Beatles
pie.
song, which is why I felt okay.
Okay.
In fact, it's basically two Beatles songs. There's a song called Honey Pie, and then there's a song called Wild Honey Pie, and they're both on the White Album. And Honey Pie is like a little like cute melody, like something from the 40s or something. It's like Honey Pie, da 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 da, something like that. And then Wild Honey Pie is Honey Pie.
Honey pie. They were like, this one's wild.
And it's got like boings and sproings in it. It's like doing dong boing dong 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 dong.
Is it shop wild honey pie?
No, it is not. The letter that begins that word is L.
Shop local honey.
Yes, that is correct. So our chain is pumpkin patchwork, workshop, shop local honey pie.
Honey pie.
Okay. Let's see. Next, because you solved that puzzle, you get a quickie, which is what I'm calling these. This is one where the chain only has one word in between the top and the bottom word, and the words
this is high stakes.
Are leftovers. And on the game show, they would have these as like a bonus round. It would be two in the middle, and they'd give you the first letter of both, and then they'd just be like, you have 10 seconds to get the bonus points or whatever.
Left, right over.
No.
Can I get a letter?
Should I give you a letter?
Yeah, I'll take a letter.
It is the letter T.
Left turn over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an apple turnover.
Yeah.
Like an apple left turn. Okay.
I tell you, Apple's been making a lot of left turns lately.
Did you say
ever
lately?
Lately, ever
Oh
lately.
my god, my the like tippy top boss of mine at work, like the creative director, today on a call said, and my video was off because I couldn't get it to work for some reason, but my friend who we are very have the same thoughts and are close with one another at work, his video was on and I saw him make the same face I did. Our boss said, right, yeah, for lack of better, worm. and he corrected himself to word, but as he was saying it, we both were like, hee.
He's like, all I have is this worm.
Yeah, but for lack of, and it's like, sorry.
He's like, I'm not the best worm out there.
I accidentally pooped in the bed.
My bed is a can. I'm a worm.
Okay. Okay, let's do the other long one now.
Yeah, give me the other long one.
You are connecting the word turkey with the word stuffing, and there are 4 words in between.
I'd like a letter over stuffing. I'm going to go backwards this time.
All right, the first letter of the word above stuffing is P. Listeners, lock in your answers now. P. Pea stuffing.
Doc McStuffins. That's a cartoon that kids like.
Or they did like 9 years ago.
Maybe one of my kids at my daycare was Doc McStuffins for
okay,
Halloween,
so it's still
which was
relevant.
cute. Yeah, but she's like the only one that likes it. All the rest of them were like, "I'm the Paw Patrol," and I was like, "I don't know the names of the
You're a
different
fucking
ones."
cop.
Yeah, I was like, "The fire dog can stay. Marshall, he's cool. The cop one, thin ice."
Yeah.
There was there was a thing with, since Big Bird went and got a booster shot or
Right.
a COVID shot, because
Igniting a
Big Bird's
culture war.
Big Bird's a child. People don't realize that, but Big Bird is like, I think, a
canonically
kid.
like a toddler.
Yeah. The people were like, Big Bird's communist. And then like there was this like there's this funny thing that my little brother sent me like a TikTok of it, but it's true. Is like anytime like when like the right labels something like that is like a cultural thing or like a character or whatever, the left sort of liberal space is like, no, guys, come on. Like, no, come on. Like, what are you talking about? And then the communists, like me over here, are like, abso-fucking-lutely, Big Bird's a communist. And they're like all these...
He's brought to you by viewers like you on public broadcasting.
I mean, legitimately, Big Bird it would be a communist. And also, like, there were so many memes of, like, Big Bird wearing, like, the fucking, like, Mao hat and, like, USSR stuff, like a hammer and sickle behind it. And we were like, everyone was like, welcome, comrade Big Bird. And there was a great tweet that I saw that was pretending to be from Big Bird, and it was like, had to get rid of the Paw Patrol dog. Letters of the day are ACAB, baby. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, what's this game? Pea stuffings.
Yeah, pea stuffing.
I haven't guessed yet. Pie stuffing.
And it is not pie.
Pot stuffing.
Nope.
Okay, can I have another letter?
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that I can get more letters.
P-I.
You sure it's not pie stuffing?
I am.
Are
you sure?
Can I have another letter, please?
Mm-hmm. L.
Pill stuffing. Pillow.
Yeah, like that NyQuil juice.
Yeah,
pillow stuffing.
Pillow stuffing. I like that. Okay, call it. Take a letter above pillow, please.
All right. That first letter of that word above pillow is D.
Dirt pillow.
That is right. No.
Oh, crazy. Can I have another letter,
what
please?
was the thing that egg pan.
Egg pan.
That was
yeah.
the rule, or the
So far, there hasn't been an egg pan situation.
Yeah, I think I managed to avoid egg pans.
Good.
That's from a previous episode with special guest Allie Gospel. I can't remember what the topic was, but
yeah. I think you pulled some shit with Colleen on this too, because didn't we play this with Colleen?
You guys took umbrage with some of my things, yes.
Yeah, we did.
And probably rightfully so.
Yeah, I think one was like cave bear or something, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I Googled types of bears, and one was called cave bear. One was also called Scary Bear.
Scary Bear. One was also called Bear from the Bear Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
What is the letter after D, please?
Okay, D-O.
Door pillow. Do.
No.
Another letter, please.
W.
Down pillow.
Yes, it is a down pillow. All right, so you've got turkey and then 2 blanks and then down pillow stuffing.
I'll take one under turkey, actually.
All right, under turkey, the first letter is D.
Turkey Day.
Oh, that's a good option. It's not that, though.
Turkey.
Control of the board turns back over to the girls.
Turkey down. Turkey down.
And then it's down, down. And then it's down, down.
Okay, sorry. Can another letter,
Turkey,
please?
D-I is the next letter.
Turkey dinner.
Yes, turkey dinner. And you have one more word. Do you want a letter, or do you want to try to guess it without
Hold on,
the
let
letter?
me try to guess. Dinner bell down. No, that doesn't make sense. Dinner ball down. Yeah, I need a letter.
P.
Dinner plate down.
No.
The down is really fucking me here.
Uh-huh.
Dinner Now I need another letter.
The next letter after P is A.
Dinner. Pay down. Party.
Yeah. You're like, par. And I was like, huh?
Par.
Yes, that's right. You've got turkey dinner party. Party down.
Party down. Just
pillow,
the reboot.
Stuffing. That's right. They just announced
Revival
that today.
just announced. Still haven't seen the original. Probably should watch that.
Oh, it's really good. Okay, so that means you've unlocked the second quickie, which is, again, 2 words connected by only 1 word in the middle, and those 2 words are cranberry and sauce.
Cranberry juice sauce.
That is not right.
Cranberries. Cranberry zombies. Zombie sauce.
No.
Okay, I need a letter.
C. And juice is actually not terribly far off if you're going from cranberry down.
Cranberry cleanse. That's not. Cranberry cleanse. You know when you go on a nice cranberry cleanse. Cranberry sauce. Or C or sauce. Can I have another letter, please?
O. C-O.
Cold sauce.
Guys, I'm sorry. I can't come in today. I've got the cranberry cold.
I've got the cranberry cold. Color. I need another letter.
Okay, after C-O is C.
Cranberry. C-O-C. Juice. Cochlear.
Like when you have a cranberry stuck in your ear.
Yeah. I need another letter. It's hard.
K.
Wow, Mike, this is dirty.
Oh.
Cranberry cock. And cock sauce. Real mature, Mike. Real mature.
Sorry, I had to write cock sauce.
It's like juice. Cranberry
like
cocktail. Cocktail sauce.
Cranberry cocktail sauce. That is correct. That is the end of Chain Reaction. However, as just a little bit of bonus content, DVD extra Easter eggs, I was trying to get pumpkin to pie the other night for like a fucking hour, and I was like, Caitlin, help me with this. And then we just kept bouncing different ideas off and like finding dead ends, or not even necessarily dead ends, but just like, okay, this has gotten too long and I want to try to get there in like 5, you know, like, because if it was like 11, that's annoying. So listen to some of the ways we got, not that we got to pie, but just like ways it went. Pumpkin carriage ride shotgun wedding. Like, I was like, this fucking rules. And I was like, what if I just made it like get pumpkin to wedding? And that's just like not the topic. But then from wedding chapel hill, hillbilly, Billy Idol worship. I was like, this is really cool. And then I was like, where are we going again? And then at one point we got to Pumpkin Patch Adams, Adams Family Dollar, which something about Adams Family Dollar is very funny to me. And then
I feel like you could
Caitlin and
get away with
both. We did Pumpkin Patch, Patchwork, Workplace, Placeholder, and then we were both like, oh, well, holder is the end. And then we both went Caulfield. Holder Caulfield. And then pumpkin carving knife block wall, like a wall made like a concrete block wall.
Okay, sure.
Wall mount, which is like from my line of work, you mount a lot of things to the wall. Mount Fuji apple pie, but that was just like a little too long. And then pumpkin carving. Caitlin was insistent. This was the first time through that she was like, well, I gave you an answer. And I was like, it doesn't work though. And she was like, well, fine. But it was pumpkin carving knife block chain gang. And then she, like, we were both working on that together. And then she was like, gang bang, Bang Bang Pie, which is like a local Chicago pie and biscuit restaurant. And I was like, but that doesn't work. The last
also,
word isn't
I'd have to put,
bang pie.
And also I'd have to put gang bang in there.
That's true too. Anyway, I felt like I had to give that behind the scenes because it made my night very fun the other night.
That is very good. It's always fun working with your partner to create these games. Because I do that with Charlie a lot too. What was the recent one where I made you? Oh, it was the Dune, but with puns. That was a lot of her.
Yeah.
It was me being like, what's like a movie
Across
that could
the
have the word
Duniverse.
Dune in it? Well,
so we've
let's
done
see.
about as good of a job on this episode as we did on the episode about birds, actually talking about the topic.
Yeah, we have talked. I think this might be maybe not a record, but like in recent memory, a record for least amount talked about the topic.
Yeah, so okay, Star Wars chili, and whenever you make chili, you have leftovers. But that's not how Star Wars is it. That's how Star Wars is it.
So leftovers is an afterthought, right? Star Wars is very rarely the afterthought.
Except for when you start getting into like, well, I guess we could tell a story about like that guy in the background of the cantina.
That's true.
But
that's true. There are a lot of afterthought. There are a lot of leftover stories from Star Wars.
There are like characters and stories that are kind of leftovers that then end up getting explored in comics and then over-explored. That it's like, oh.
And similar to leftovers, sometimes
they go bad.
They go bad.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's like they're good for like a day or two or an issue or two.
Yeah.
And then it's like, are we still doing this?
Right.
It's like you shouldn't eat meat even if it's cooked. You shouldn't eat meat if it's been sitting in your fridge for more than 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay? I learned that recently.
Here, this is a bit of a walk, but because I'm not sure this is a traditional example of the trope, but I would say that Padme's role, especially in episode 3, is essentially equivalent to having been fridged. Even though she dies at the end, the whole premise is that like she's gonna die, and that serves to further the Anakin story. And leftovers go in the fridge.
Go in the fridge. There we go. So what you're saying is that all the women in Star Wars are leftovers. Well, not all. At least one. Padme.
Yeah, specifically Padme.
This just in, everybody. Mike thinks that women are the leftovers.
Right.
Not the original dish.
Not the main course.
Not the main course. You know how there's main course and then leftovers? Wow. We've been recording for an hour and a half.
I'm trying to think of any other grasping at straws. You know, one thing that we talk about whenever we talk about food on this show, which is, I mean, we did last week, there's no one eats in Star Wars.
No one eats in Star Wars.
Presumably people do because portions are currency.
Right, and portions, but the portions aren't leftovers, right? Because portions are a portion. It's like one meal.
Yeah, like a ration or like a portion is like a Stouffer's TV dinner.
Yeah, it's exactly the right amount of calories that you need to be just full enough to support your body.
And if you are like saving leftover Stouffer's TV dinner to eat tomorrow, like throw it away.
No, throw that away. Honestly, that's probably not good after about an hour.
It's already not good.
Right. You can eat it, and it's gonna.
In fact,
it'll give you.
We should define leftovers because
we never did.
Food you cook and then freeze or refrigerate? Because that is a Stouffer's TV dinner. Like a lot of that stuff has to have already been cooked and frozen so that you don't worry about foodborne illnesses.
I think that no, I don't think that would count, right? Because very technically, you're right. It would count because it's cooked and then we're reheating it.
Like someone cooked it and then they froze it and then I'm eating it.
But I think you have to have either received and prepared, like not necessarily prepared because you can get takeout or like delivery that then becomes leftovers.
Right. It has to be the second time you've begun eating it.
Yes, and if it's yes, there we go. That's the good definition of leftovers. The second
started
time that
eating this food a second time.
Yes, I started eating this food yesterday. I'm eating this food again today. Right. This is leftovers.
Yeah, and I suppose
now that we've determined what leftovers are an hour in,
I have another. Your Honor,
yes.
I feel like I'm writing like the Federalist Papers. I'm like testing out. Does our definition hold up?
Why does he write like he's running out of time?
Mike wrote. The other 51! leftover
Things about
pages.
leftovers.
Okay, I cook a big pot of chili
Yes, you do.
At say 11 a.m. with the
Great.
intent to eat some at noon.
That's okay. That's a wild thing to do.
But it's my lunch, and it's
Okay,
it's a
great.
Saturday, and I'm doing it so that I can have it throughout the week.
Well, that chili's not going to be very good if you're just giving it an hour to simmer. I'm just saying, but keep going.
Well, fine. I'll start at 10:30, and I'll eat it at 12:15.
Okay, that's better.
So I'm giving you
Now
an
we're-
extra 45 in there.
Now we're talking.
Okay, so I eat it for lunch. That is
Yeah.
called, I guess, a meal.
Sure.
Can I eat it for dinner and it be considered leftovers, or is it
Yes.
still the original meal because it's the same day and the sun has not gone down?
Okay, this is very important, right? Because did you take it off the burner and did you put it into a Tupperware and did you put that Tupperware in the fridge and are you reheating it?
Okay, yes is the rational answer to that. So in my Federalist paper, I will say, but some fucking weirdo left it on like low heat the entire day after having had some for lunch and wants more for dinner. Is that still the lunch meal or is it leftovers?
That is, I think that
This
is not
is so there's
leftovers.
a hot dog, a sandwich type shit, but it's interesting.
I think that's not leftovers. I think if you leave a soup, and there's precedent for this, Your Honor, there's precedent. Because in
I'll allow it.
old-timey inns, and there's even
Sure.
like some that are still around that do this practice. Like there is a stew in some like hotel, not hotel.
But it's just
I don't know,
always on
some-
the kettle.
Yes, there's a lot of these in the world, and they have been. There's some that have been like I remember seeing a video about one that has been the same pot has been boiling, and stuff has been added to it since World War II. And so, I would argue, Your Honor, Mike's looking off to the side. Something happened.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would argue. So, like, if this soup that is being served daily, and it is the same pot, and they're just adding new ingredients
Right.
every day.
Yeah.
That maintains the same soup. It is not leftovers.
Right. It's like Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap in London. How like it has
Yes.
never gone dark. It just like always has a show every night.
Exactly. So it's not if the soup stays on the on the burner, if the chili stays on the burner, then I think it still counts as a meal. Maybe not the same meal. You could say this is dinner, but it is not leftovers yet. It has to be, I think, cold or in storage even.
Yes.
Because you could have, I don't know, you could have like some bread that you don't have to put in the freezer
Right.
or the fridge, but it has to go into storage and then come out again and be the
So-
second time you're eating it.
With this definition we have now stumbled upon after the 60-minute mark of the show that should only be an hour long.
Everyone just
I now have points for leftovers being Star Wars.
okay. All right,
Because
take me there.
what is Star Wars but not something that makes a big splash and then gets put into the fridge for a while until another one comes out. Now, nowadays, it's more like that pot that you're talking about because there's never not Star
Right.
Wars. But for generations, it
You're
came
right, there
out
was-
and then like 3 years passed and then another one came out and then like decades passed after Return of the Jedi.
No. This is interesting because like the kind of idea you're putting forth here is that like the original Star Wars movies came out in theaters, and then maybe when they came out on home video,
Well, and re-released with special editions in theaters in the 90s.
each time they re-released it, they were saying here's some leftovers.
Yes.
Because the original
We reheated this. Like, literally,
Yes, we
we
reheated
added
it.
a little bit more spice when we reheated it.
And then like you're saying now, Star Wars is more like that infinite bowl of soup
Yes.
or stew, in that it is constantly being added to, and there's never not. So yeah,
And-
I think like there's two.
using like a bowl of stew as our metaphor when we use Star Wars chili
bowl
as
of
our
chili?
metaphor. Okay, so just really quick. It once was you cook a big pot and then you put it in big Tupperware and then you re-release it every so often.
Yeah.
But then it became the perpetual bowl of stew. How much
Right.
of the Star Wars chili is perpetual
Is in
bowl of
that.
stew versus
Yeah.
bowl of chili we reheated a bunch?
Yeah. This is good. This is
Again,
good. This is
this
good.
is a
good.
smart conversation.
This is a smart conversation, and this is the critical thinking about dumb shit that we love to do. And also, it is after the 1 hour mark, and we did spend the entire podcast talking about other things. Mike's waving to, I hope,
Yeah,
Caitlin. If
Caitlin's
someone else
home.
is in his house, that'd be kind of scary. A ghost just comes up behind Mike. I think that takes it splits it down the middle for me, right? Because with this definition of Star Wars sometimes being leftovers and sometimes being perpetual stew,
Right.
that like splits it down the middle. So it's going to be low
For
anyway
that
because
category, because also it's not a
Right.
movie. There's no lasers. There's no Death Star.
exactly it's already going to be low,
Yeah.
and so like whereas if the fact that it is not one or well, the fact that it's both.
Is Star Wars.
Oh wait, because we determined that perpetual stew is not leftover.
Yes, correct. Yeah, no, right.
So if it had been both, it might be like I don't know, a 3.
Yeah.
But it's not both. It's just one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a fucking rating.
I know. I think so too.
We got another Patreon to do. Let's get out of here. What's your unit of measure going to be?
Like
Mine's going to be
how many times you press the 30-second button on the microwave.
Yeah. Good. Mine's going to be number of Tupperware lids that don't have a Tupperware they go to, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Honestly, either way. I'm going to say 2. It was a lot of stuff just to get to a 2, but I think it's a 2.
Yeah, I think that's high. But I don't want to only press the 30-second button once because then it's not going to be all that well reheated depending on the food.
Right.
Although I think
Maybe
the
push it
chicken I did
twice,
tonight was only 30 seconds, so I'm okay with 1.
Maybe push it twice and take it out
There
at
you
45.
go. Yep. Yeah.
And then you just have a 15 on your microwave for a while, and then you just keep that.
Yeah, and you're like, it must be 15 o'clock.
That's another perpetual stew we could talk about. If you never let your microwave get to 0, you just keep adding 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm still warming up the stew from last year.
Right.
I never stopped.
Oh boy, we really got somewhere with this episode, huh?
We really did. One of my, I think, new faves to date.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's the show.
That's the show. If you want us on the internet, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at How Star Wars Is It, or you can email us at agoodpodcast@gmail.com.
I would do a bit where I try to pull out some of the spam emails we've gotten, but we're already running long, so I'm not going to do that. Check out the rest of our info in the show notes. Blah, blah, blah.
And our Patreon is patreon.com/How
Yes,
Star
that's
Wars
what I
Is
should
It.
say.
And it's only $5 a month. And our very
it's
best
the
episode
price-
ever, including all of our free
That's true.
episodes that we've done over 100 of, it's there on Patreon.
Yes, we've almost done 150. Ooh-hoo-hoo.
That's right.
Go check it out. It's good shit. And that's all.
Yeah.
So it's about time for Tell You Bye-Bye.
Yeah.
Like we always say.
We love you. And may the force be with you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Music got me feeling so free. Celebrate and dance with me. One more time, music got me feeling so free. I wanna celebrate and dance with me. One more time. I'm sure that will end up appearing somewhere.